Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on which part of the world you're seeing this video from. You're welcome to Enuani Cultural Forum, where we promote the rich cultural heritage of the Igbo people. Today, we're going to be looking at how Igbo identity denial was born. How Igbo identity denial was born. Identity denial. Igbo identity denial was born out of identity crisis. Yes, I said Igbo identity denial was born out of identity crisis. And this identity crisis was created by cartography, by a confusion between cultural identity and political identity. Those who could not distinguish between their cultural identity and their political identity started to embrace their political identity more than their cultural identity. Those who also did not know or who were not firmly rooted in their cultural identity were easily swayed to embrace their political identity more than their cultural identity. What is a political identity and what is cultural identity? Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Enuani Cultural Forum. My name is Onwade Ngozi Chukwuka Fortune, and today we are going to take a very academic approach to the discussion of identity crisis. We are going to be looking at works already done on the topic. The notion of identity crisis was first popularized by Erik Erikson in 1968 when he said, in the context of psychological development, particularly among youths undergoing major life transitions. In sociocultural contexts, however, identity crisis often refers to a loss or confusion of ethnic, cultural, or national belonging due to exposure to conflicting values, norms, and worldviews. The theoretical foundations provided by Erik Erikson is profoundly relevant and applicable to this study we are going to undergo today in the case of Igbo youths, especially those in diaspora, culturally mixed environments, and those in the south-south area of Nigeria. It is usually youths or our people in diaspora and those who are in the south-south region, whatever that means, in Nigeria, that have this identity crisis. So we are going to examine the causes. First of all, according to Erik Erikson, like I said, exposure to other cultures and confusion about one's own cultural identity is one of the fueling factors, one of the foundations of identity denial among Igbo youths and Igbo people in diaspora, especially young people. Igbo identity in historical and cultural context. Let's put this in perspective, especially a historical perspective. Traditionally, the Igbo ethnic group is known for its strong communal values, language, religious practices, kingship systems, and art forms. What I said here is kinship, not kingship. Kinship. Umunne no monna. Igbos value consanguineal relationship, even a final relationship. Igbos do not joke with their kids and kin. Umonna. They do not joke with it at all. When you hear an Igbo person saying, oh, one name, you will easily think the person he or she is referring to is his or her immediate sibling. But when you investigate, you will find out that the person is just from the same lineage. That is Ndi Igbo for you. They do not joke with what I call kinship. Umunne no monna. And so, in continuation, Igbos have, the Igbo identity has historically been shaped by pre-colonial village democracies, the impact of Christian missionary influence, colonial restructuring, and post-independence socio-political developments. Which one do we take now, or which one do we start from? Before our contact with the Europeans, Ndi Igbo were known to be pro-democracy, pro-democratic. We practice a form of democracy, and our leadership system was governed by primogeniture, was governed by gerontocracy, that is seniority, the Opala system. The oldest man in a family, the oldest man in a lineage, even in the females, the oldest female, the oldest male becomes leader of either the male folk or the women folk. That is our pre-colonial leadership system. It is even in existence till this day. Ndi Igbo believe in democratic rulership. When we are to adjudicate about a matter that has been brought before the Diopala in a lineage, we usually appoint 4 or 5 members of a jury to go outside and investigate the matter and recommend judgment before the judgment is announced before the Umuna, that is the Igbo in some communities. This is the Igbo traditional rulership system. This is our identity. This is the Igbo cultural identity, pre-colonial. And then our contact with Christianity changed a lot of things as well, even till today. Oh, one day who would you Nebo as when I do a buofo, no for what Johnny. Oh, but my brother Papi. So, oh, one day Gafu, a Diopala in his Ebo, the oldest man in a lineage, who has refused to make use of the offer of his lineage, insisting that offer that offer is evil. I don't know what that means or the kind of education such people have, but offer is the epitome of uprightness. Offer is the epitome of justice. Offer is upright, but some people refuse to collect offer even when they are the oldest man in a lineage, citing that offer is evil and they do not want it mixed with them. This is as a result of the impact with Christianity. So colonial government also came. This one saw the appointment of some warrant chiefs to administer over lineages. The warrant chiefs began to see themselves as more important, as more relevant, as more valued, as more well-positioned to govern a community than the traditional system that we practice, which goes by gerontocracy, that is seniority. Now, this has made the traumatic experience of the Nigerian genocidal war that happened between 1967 and 1970 left a deep psychological scar and a sense of marginalization that further complicated the cultural identity of Igbo people within the Nigerian Federation. This is according to Aniche in 2018. In post-war Nigeria, many Igbo people migrated to different parts of the country and abroad in search of economic opportunities. As a result, they became exposed to various forms of assimilation and integration pressures, which gradually eroded traditional cultural practices among the younger generation. I hope I have given this a very sound academic background so that we can discuss it. We are up to discuss the identity crisis among Igbo youths, especially the youths in diaspora and those in the south region of Nigeria. There are some in the middle belt, but we are focusing on the south region, where you have your Anioma, where you have the people in Isobo, where you have the people in Bayelsa, the Indokis, where you have the people in River State, where you have the Oba Ebe Mandoni people, where you have the Ikwere, where you have the Opobo people, and some parts of Kalabari who are Igbo. It is their identity that we are discussing. Where you have the Ibanke people in Edo, the identity crisis among the Igbo in the south region of Nigeria. And those Igbo youths in diaspora is what we are here to discuss. Because as we said, it is from identity crisis that identity denial was born. Identity crisis is the mother of identity denial. When someone has crisis of their identity, denying that identity becomes very easy. Youths of Igbo region living in diaspora often face a dual identity challenge, integrating into the host country's culture while trying to maintain their ancestral identity. So by this, it is easier to maintain your identity while living in the country where that identity is welcomed. Okay? It is easy to maintain your Igbo identity while living among Undi Igbo than when living in a different country. Because there you have to maintain a dual identity while trying to be distinct as only Igbo. To blend in with the host country. So that creates a dual identity for this particular person. So, according to Okafor, in 2017, those youths experience what is known as cultural displacement, a situation where they are neither fully accepted as members of the whole society nor fully connected to their ethnic roots. In multicultural societies like United States, United Kingdom, and Canada, young Igbos may be grouped under the generic label of African or blacks, thereby losing their specific recognition of their Igbo heritage. Now, when they are in such countries that are multicultural like Canada, United Kingdom, United States of America, it is easy to say, I am a black person. We, the black community, we, the African Americans, therefore, or thereby reducing their association or embracing the Igbo identity, the specifics. Yes, you are an African in diaspora. Yes, you are a black. Yes, you are among the African community in diaspora, but you are only Igbo. I hope we are together in this. Kindly drop a comment so that I will know that you are following. We are discussing the birth or the origin of Igbo identity denial among youths in Nigeria. And South Nigeria is what we are looking at precisely. So in continuation, we say that this disconnection is worsened by a lack of exposure to Igbo language, customs, proverbs, folklores, and religions, which are central to ethnic identity. The phenomenon of Ngiri Igbo, a hybrid of English and Igbo, as a form of communication among Nigerian youths, illustrates the struggle to maintain cultural relevance while adapting to foreign environments. This is according to Eze in 2019. While some embrace modernity and abandon traditional identity markers, others actively seek to reconnect with their heritage through language learning, cultural festivals, and participation in Igbo community organizations. At this point, I will have to give a shout out to the Igbo people in United States of America. We have what is called CISA, Council of Igbo States in America. They have an organization that annually conducts a cultural conference to help our people reenact their Igbo cultural identity. If you're just seeing this video and probably this is your first time of seeing our video, I am pleading with you to kindly give this video a thumbs up, like it, share it, and drop a comment here. To like this video, you just have to double tap it. Kindly just double tap and boom, you have liked the video. So, identity crisis in South region of Nigeria, because what I first discussed was identity crisis among the Igbo who live in diaspora. Igbo youths in diaspora are bound to face identity crisis because of what I discussed. I called the challenge of facing a dual identity. The dual identity of one having to blend in with the culture of the host community, and also the dual identity of having to also blend in as only Igbo. This poses a challenge to them, therefore instituting a situation of identity challenge or crisis. So we're looking at now the identity crisis among Igbo youths in South Nigeria. This is quite interesting because these youths in South Nigeria are in Nigeria. They are not faced with the same challenge that the youths in the other side are faced with. The youths in diaspora are faced with the challenge of having to blend in with the host community. But these youths in South Nigeria are in Nigeria. They are not facing that type of challenge. So what could be the challenge that has led to Igbo identity crisis among youths in South Nigeria? South Nigeria has 6 states: Delta State, Edo State, Cross River State, Akwa Ibom State, River State, and Bayelsa State. These are the 6 states in South Nigeria, and interestingly, Igbo communities are found in all these 6 states that I mentioned. There are Igbo people in Delta, Edo, Rivers, Cross Rivers, Akwa Ibom, Bayelsa, and Cross River State. So, the situation in South Nigeria is tied to international ethnic dynamics. In states like Rivers, Bayelsa, and Delta, young Igbos often live among indigenous groups such as the Ijo, Urobo, and Efik. I don't understand what this means, but Igbos are also among the indigenous groups. Okay? So, these interactions, while enriching, have led to cultural dilution and identity ambiguity among young Igbo people. Due to political and historical tensions, especially the legacy of the Biafra War, many young Igbo in this region are reluctant to openly identify with their Igbo roots. This is according to Wanze 2016. Interestingly, the rejection of Senator John Mbata by Obaku Ikwere group for identifying as Igbo, despite being elected as Ohaneze Ndi Igbo president, reflects the tension and resistance around Igbo identity in the region. In this context, identity crisis manifests as the denial or suppression of one's heritage in favor of dominant cultures. Interesting. This erasure has long-term implications for cultural continuity as younger generations grow up disconnected from their linguistic, social, and historical heritage. Obevo, Davis, and Mario, 2019, who noted that African youths in multicultural settings often experience alienation from their heritage. Now I have to pause and analyze. Senator John Azota Mbata was rejected by Obaku Ikwere for identifying as Onyi Igbo. This is way back in 2016. In 2016, I presume by then he was a member of the National Assembly as a senator representing one of the constituencies in Rivers State. Today, as history would have it, he is the President General of Ohaneze Ndi Igbo worldwide. Perhaps he was just the state president of Ohaneze Ndi Igbo then. And his Eche people, who it is recorded here were against his acceptance or declaration of his Igbo identity, have openly declared their own Igbo identity, including the king. So Eche community, where distinguished Senator Azo Tambata hails from, has openly declared their Igbo identity. What we are bringing out here is that in a multicultural setting, in a state where you have Kalabari, Buguma, Degema, Ijo people, these are Ijo people, where you have Ijo residents, where you have Ndi residents, it becomes a little difficult for the indigenes to fully accept their Igbo identity, especially following the reputation and the aftermath of the Nigerian genocidal war against Ndi Igbo. If I bring this down to another south-south region of Delta State called Enuani and Eka and even Enuani, somehow, even Enuani a little, you will discover that people deny their Igbo identity not because they want to, because their parents did same and taught their children to do so. Most Nigerians who were in the civil service, who are Ndi Igbo from that part of Delta State, especially those in the military, were made to travel to Lagos once a month, some of them 2 times a month, just to go and affirm that they are not Igbo. Just to go and affirm that they are not Igbo, they will have to travel to Lagos to pen down their signature and say, I am declaring today, this month, that I am not Igbo. Next month, they will do same. They did this for 3 years. Otherwise, they will be relieved of their job and probably executed. We've heard stories of those who were executed. Confessions of members of the Nigerian army simply for identifying as Ndi Igbo. Even those who rejected that they are not Igbo, but were perceived to be Igbo. Those who are from Enuani. There's a particular story I read on Edmond Obilo's page of an Enuani family that denied their Igbo identity. But the Nigerian army officers know that they are Igbo. So they just wipe them out. Okay? So, in continuation, movement and strategies for identity reclamation. Because what I'm doing, my role, my job, my duty, what I have been doing, what I've been working on, is how to ensure that our identity is reclaimed. How do we reclaim our identity as Ndi Igbo? That is the essence of this video. That is the essence of my struggles, all what I've been doing, all my research, all my live videos, is how we, as Ndi Igbo in South-South, among whom we have those who are suffering from chronic identity crisis, even those who are highly educated. We have people who are as educated as having a professorship. We have those who are senior advocates of Nigeria. We have those who are kings sitting on the throne, ancient throne of their kingdom, who have identity crisis. So our work is, how can we reclaim our Igbo cultural identity? That has been the essence of my work on the media space. So please, if you are just seeing this video or you're just coming across our video for the first time, kindly go to our channel, hit the subscribe button. If this is your first time of coming across any of our videos, please hit the subscribe button, share our video to your audience so that we can have people participating whenever we put out videos. For this particular video that you're watching, please double tap on it to give it a thumbs up. It just has 3 thumbs up. What this 3 thumbs up does is it tells the algorithm that this person is a rabble rouser. He's just talking. People are not interested in what he's saying. So if you are interested in what I'm saying and you find this video interesting, please double tap on the video to give it a thumbs up. At a point, we had over 100 and something people watching, but we just have 4 thumbs up. Bikoni, Igbo, Daloni. Movement and strategies for identity reclamation. Biko, double tap on this video to give it thumbs up. In spite of these challenges that I listed earlier, of those who live in diaspora, those who live in Nigeria, who are facing a trauma post-Civil War. Post-Civil War is over 56 years now. Post-Civil War is over 56 years. Enough for somebody to have outlived the trauma, even if there was no mechanism put in place by the Nigerian government as a way of rehabilitating those who suffered trauma during the Civil War. There was no mechanism put in place, even until this day. In spite of these challenges, there's a growing movement among Igbo youths, both at home and abroad, to reclaim and redefine their identity. These efforts take various forms, from cultural revival, such as Biafra resurgence, to informal practices like wearing traditional attire, learning the Igbo language, celebrating Igbo Day, and participating in Igbo cultural festivals. This one I can say I am very much involved in. All 3. I teach Igbo language, I wear my Igbo attire, ma asụ asụsụ Igbo, ma akwụzizikwo asụsụ Igbo na Enuani kenji akwụzi, ma akwụzizikwo na Igbo izugbe. Social media has become a critical tool for identity reclamation by Ndi Igbo, as platforms like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube, where we are now, allow youths to share Igbo music, food, proverbs, history, and lifestyle. However, scholars have warned, this is the important part, and I want you to pay attention. Scholars have warned that these representations often become commercialized or distorted, turning culture into spectacle rather than lived experiences. This is according to Uchendo in 2014. In addition, there are spiritual and religious dimensions to identity reclamation. Some youths are returning to traditional belief system and ancestral worship, although in forms that are sometimes misunderstood or misapplied. Practices such as invoking deities like Enuani, Okite, or Anyanzo are increasingly being revived, albeit sometimes in commodified or controversial ways. For them, it's like a business. How you are cashing out. Business venture. Or business or business venture. Business venture. Igbo cultural identity reclamation abụghị business venture. Ọ ihe kpatara o ji wee bụ na ọtụtụ ndị mmadụ ike ha ga-eji wee kwu ihe dị mma gbasara ndị Igbo a na-ekwu ihe dị njọ maka na ha ma na akwụwa ihe dị njọ gbasara ndị Igbo ha ga-enwechasị engagement. Otu a nsi wee na-ayọ ndị mmadụ, if you like this video that I'm doing, kindly double tap it to give it thumbs up. Agaghị m ayọ ndị mmadụ ma ọ bụrụ na ihe m na-ekwu bụ ihe dị njọ gbasara ndị Igbo. Ndị ọ bụ na ihe gbasara ndị Igbo anaghị amasị ha ga-abịacha ebe a nye ya thumbs up, na-enyedo onye ahụ ego, na-agwa ya na jisi ike. Ọ bụrụ na ha anaghị enye ya ego, ndị na-ele the video na-eme ya the video a na-aga viral. Otu video 20 seconds eji wee kwu ihe dị njọ gbasara ndị Igbo ga-aga viral, mana one video eji wee na-eto ndị Igbo agaghị aga any viral. So this is the commercialization aspect that I am talking about here. Commercialization. Most people have seen it as a business venture. I discussed it lightly yesterday, but today I decided to pick on an academic approach because, as you know, this is an intellectual platform. We don't just come here to make noise. We engage in research and bring you empirical evidences and facts to support the things that we say. So most people, believe that if you want to grow your social media handle, mepee page, wepụta ohere ọwụrụgodu 20 seconds, nkeji iri na ise, nkeji iri na ise, 25 seconds every day, were ya na-akpali ndị Igbo, you will grow. Mana wepụta 1 hour na-eto ndị Igbo, na-ekwu ihe dị mma gbasara ndị Igbo, your page will remain where it is. I heard Yogide last year that we must have a change of mindset. We must have a mindset of positivity. Onye ọbụla na-ewepụta oge wee na-akparị ndị Igbo, we don't give that person attention. We deliberately put heads together to make sure that that person's page goes down, not by reporting it, but by ignoring it, not helping them to have that engagement that they so desire to have. So, challenges to reclamation of the Igbo identity. Several factors inhibit successful identity reclamation. Several factors, and I'm going to discuss them. First, the dominance of English language and Western education continues to overshadow indigenous language use. Nke a wo otu n'ime ha, nke a wo di oga kpatakpata ha niile. Nke a che ha, ọ eze ha dị ihe a nkwuru ugbu a. Ọ nke bụ isi n'ime ha bụ nke a nkwuru. The dominance of English language. Otu a mụ na gị si wee na-akparị ụka, ọ English ka eji na-akparị ya bụ ụka. Ịgacha n'ụlọ akwụkwọ anyị, Minister of Education Dr. Tunji Alausa wepụtara ohere gaa akwụkwọ zigara ụlọ akwụkwọ niile nọ na the 36 state of the Federation, gwa ha sị na ha ga-agba mbọ ịhụ na ha ji Bekee, English na-akụziri ụmụaka anyị from nursery school, that is ụlọ akwụkwọ ụmụntakịrị, ruo university, mahadum. Ole mgbe a ga-ejikwanụ nwa ohere ịmụta asụsụ Igbo? Ihe a wụ ihe anyị na-akwa mgbe m dị na nwata, na m sụọ asụsụ ụbụlụ, asụsụ Igbo, ha pịa m ụtarị dịka nwanne anyị Wujbright Chimezie si wee sị, because of English onye nkụzi apịa m ụtarị o. Apịara m nwa ụtarị, ma m sụọ asụsụ obodo m. Mana mgbe ahụ, in fairness to them, a na-akụzichi Igbo na primary school, kụzie na secondary, kụzikwa na mahadum. Ọ ebe m mụrụ Igbo. Amụtalụ m Igbo na primary school, mụọ ya na secondary school, mụọ ya na university, and Igbo nke m na-ekwu bụ Igbo izugbe, ọwụghị Igbo my community. Because your community's dialect, ị ga-amụta nke ahụ n'ụlọ gị. Thank you, my brother Papi. God bless you. Say one na ya gazie o. Jisie ike, Chineke okike gbaa gị ume. Daalụ nwanne m, Chineke gọzie gị. Ihe m na-ekwu, a sị na-eto dike na nke o mere omekwa ọzọ. When you see such videos, I am begging everybody, since I have been begging everybody, double tap on this video to give it thumbs up. Over 100 and something people are watching. Double tap on the video you are watching to give it a thumbs up so that it can come up on the algorithm. Mind you, YouTube live videos doesn't give anybody 1 naira. It is not a money-making venture. If this video has 1 million views, it may not give me $20 or $10. 1 million views. So it is not for money. I am passing an idea on. I have been writing books. I am even reading from a book. I have been writing. Mana watarum no ụlọ ide akwụkwọ ka eji akụziri this generation ihe ọbụla. The best way to teach my generation is to discuss it on air, is to make a video, short videos. Ọ ihe kpatara nji wee mewe social media. Otherwise, ihe m na-emebi ide akwụkwọ. Ụmụkwanụ nwata ruo university final year ha akpọ gị, brother, biko, is there any research material you can assist me with? I'm doing my university project. Ọ mgbe m na-ahụ ha, ha mechaa project, vam, ị gaghị ahụzi ha ọzọ. So I decided to pick a different approach by making videos. Perhaps by watching me, they will learn. And it is working. So ihe m na-ayọ gị as onye Igbo na-like ihe gbasara Igbo na-amasị is to please, when you see us doing this, any kind of support you will give to us. Because we are spending money seriously to do this. If you think it's just research, you don't wake up and gather elders in the village and start talking about history. You will first of all host them, entertain them, probably even give some of them that are sick money before you start talking about whatever brought you to their place. So biko na ụmụ Igbo, ọwụghị iwe ajọsụ na-akọwa ihe a ka onye ọbụla wee ghọta ihe anyị na-eme ka uche anyị nọrọ ya. When you see such videos na-ekwu ihe dị mma gbasara ndị Igbo, 3 things you can do. Ụmụcha ndị na-ahụ video, I don't even know them. You will just see $5, they will send it here as a super thanks. Ọnwụ na enweghị ike inye anyị ego, comment, share, like the video you're watching. It helps it to come up on the algorithm. So we are saying here that one of the major challenges, ihe na-egbochi ndị mmadụ coming back and reclaiming their Igbo identity, wụ asụsụ Bekee, English language. Perhaps there is this one of my brother in Rivers State who is Igbo. He wants to embrace his Igbo identity. Mana ọ maghị asụ asụsụ Igbo. Ọsụzia Bekee, ndị mmadụ a na-achị ihe ọchị. He will feel withdrawn unless he has to go and learn the Igbo language. Ọ mụtazia ya, obido na-asụ ya one after the other, day after day, before he now embraces. So English is one of the major challenges, especially with the decree that the Minister of Education sent out. Second is intergenerational divides that pose a challenge, as older generation often lament the perceived loss of values, while younger generation ones often attempt to define being Igbo in globalized terms. Now, there's a divide between the older generation and the younger generation. While the older generation are holding on to the new generation is saying no, that generation is past. We are Igbo, but we must have to embrace the global society and let go of some things. The older generation do not want to let go. They will never want to let go. The younger generation wants to let go of, if not all, but everything. There's this culture in my community that prohibits adultery. Younger generation have been trying their best to repeal that tradition, and the older generation said, lie, not in their time. In that tradition, if a woman commits adultery, but it works in this way. And then he starts defending her. He will die. He will swell up and die. So the younger generation have been very, very active trying to repeal this particular tradition. The older generation said no. So this disagreement between the older generation and younger generation is one of the obstacles to reclamation of Igbo identity. Now the third one is regional political fragmentation, mistrust, and historical wounds. They hinder efforts at pan-Igbo solidarity, especially in the South-South region. We have discussed this before. I'll have to go off, please, because there's a power outage.